Guys, I'm gonna shoot this video right now about self-love, and I might not post it right now. I don't know when I'm gonna post it. I might do it in pieces just because this is just like really raw. I'm just like literally holding my phone, and I don't know if I'm gonna get everything out. I just have been feeling a lot of things, and I just want to talk about them right now. I posted something about self-love on my Instagram, and I'm getting a lot of people commenting on it. I think a lot of people assume that if you are somebody who has reached a certain amount of success, and we all think success is different, but if what the world, sees as successful, if we've reached that, financial success, which by the way doesn't mean you're happy, that all of a sudden, the people who have done that have everything figured out. And I wanted to talk a little bit about self-love because I think that's one of the main issues, that no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter where you are in life, how old you are, we're always going to struggle with self-love. I've struggled with it at a really, really young age. I grew up, some people may know my story, some people might not. My story is not necessarily like an amazing story. It's my story. I grew up, I was born in Oklahoma to an Iraqi immigrant family. We moved to Tennessee when I was 2. My sister and I were born in the States. The rest of my siblings were born in Iraq. And we always moved to places where there weren't really any brown people. Never mind Iraqi people. And when through my childhood growing up, I was always put in situations where I felt like I didn't belong. But more importantly, that like I maybe wasn't awesome. Like almost like as if what my skin color was, what my ethnicity was, the country I was from was always war struck. And there were people sometimes who literally, I mean, you might feel a certain way, but then there's people out there who will like literally go out of their way to make you feel like you suck and like you do not belong and you're not invited to the parties. And they want you to know, right? They want to make sure that you know that you are not one of everyone else and that you can't come and hang out and do all the things you want to do, and that you're weird and you look weird and your name is weird and all those small things. And when you're an adult, I think like that hurts. That really hurts because they're true, right? It's not like, hey, you can say those things and they're not true. It's true. Like, you don't blend in with everyone. But when you're young, that's your world, and it can feel really, really hard. And I think because of that, I've dealt with a lot of self-love issues where I always felt like I wasn't good enough to belong in society, and I wasn't good enough to do anything really. And I wanted so hard to prove that I was. I wanted so hard to prove to everyone that I did belong, that I was good enough. And I still struggle with these issues. I used to think like it was good that I didn't love myself. Like it was a good thing because I had this need to prove that I was good enough so it would keep me motivated. But then I realized I wasn't happy. Like, sure, I'm working so much, but when am I actually going to love myself? When am I going to feel like I am good enough? And I realize it's something that a lot of people struggle with, and this is the only reason why I want to talk about it, because I'm not necessarily the person to open up with these things. I don't like being vulnerable. I feel the need to be a strong person, to be an example for people. But everybody struggles with these things, and this is exactly why I want to open up about it, because I know a lot of people don't realize that no matter where you are in life, you don't always have it figured out. You don't, you don't have it figured out. And you're always going to be dealing with these issues. We're always going to be dealing with like the fact that we need to love ourselves more. There's so much pressure right now with social media, with what we do, to do more, to be more. And we always feel like we're not enough because we're comparing ourselves to everyone on social media. People are comparing themselves to me. I'm comparing myself to random people, trust me. People who don't even know I'm comparing myself to them. They probably don't even know I've seen their page before. But that's what we do. We compare ourselves to each other, and then we feel like we're not good enough. It's so ridiculous. It's like the most ridiculous thing because it's not real. First of all, I love Instagram and I love what it's done for me and my family and my business and I hope that people can see what it could do for people when they really want to work for themselves. But there's also the stranger side to social media where people all of a sudden think their lives are not enough. And it's bullshit. It literally is bullshit. It saddens me because I think about me as a child, and I think about all the kids, I think about my daughter, and I think about all these things where we are really, and I'm doing it too. I'm creating this problem as well. And that's why I want to talk about it, because I just feel like it's like a responsibility. We need to hold on and take a minute and put our phones down and stop being overstimulated all the time and take a minute to love ourselves, because how many people actually do that? How many people actually do that? How many people stop to say, like, what do I define success as? Do I define it as being Insta famous and being really, really going to all these events and being rich? Is that going to make me happy? Is it? I can tell you on the other side of actually doing it, it doesn't make you happy. In fact, it actually kind of will do the opposite, because if you're not serving your life's purpose, you're going to feel really empty at the end of it. And it's funny because when we as a family, I hate crying. But when we as a family finally got investors, like, we always wanted to prove that we were like a legitimate brand, like we were legitimate, like I was a legitimate human being, as ridiculous as it sounds. And we finally got our investors to invest in us, and we got this amazing valuation and all this stuff. And I think I've never gone through more depression before or afterwards. Like, last year was a really rough year for me because I was like, wow, like, now I've accomplished something and I don't feel good about it. And I think a lot of people are going to go through this, where you're working so hard, you're doing so much, and then you're not actually serving your purpose. And I had to do a lot of work, a lot of me work this past year, and I did. And that's when I kind of realized that I didn't actually love myself, and I needed to redefine what I thought success was, because to me, success wasn't this. It wasn't being popular and having money. Could have been farther from that. But we're in a society right now that's so heavily flooded by all these things, right? And everybody wants to do it. And even as much as, like, I could talk about this stuff, I also want that as well. I want to be competitive and successful. Like, I would love to just put a pause moment on everything and just be my daughter's mother. I just want to be Nora's mom. I just want to play in the grass and be a kid again and be really simple. But that's why we together as people need to put our phones down. And I've been doing this just recently, and I swear it's changed my life, where I, like, literally put my phone down. 7 p.m. rolls around, I don't go on my phone after 7 p.m. I don't sit in bed on my phone. It is so unhealthy. It's really hard to do, especially, trust me, given my... God, I just saw my hair. I'm sorry, guys. Given my profession, it's really hard for me to do. But, like, you got to do that for yourself. You got to take a minute for yourself. You got to think about what success means to you. I finally realized success for me means freedom. Not necessarily financial freedom. It's like the freedom, because trust me, right now in my job, I'm not free. I have to do what people tell me to do. I have to wear what people tell me to wear. I have to do so many things that, like, sometimes I just want to sit home and do nothing, and I can't do that. I have to work constantly. I have to work on vacation. I have to work. And any person who is blogging or an influencer will tell you they get this. And I've worked in a corporation before, and I know how that is also not necessarily freedom as well. But, there's different kinds of freedoms. And for me, what I really want is just the ability to just sit with my daughter and my husband at home, my family, and just do nothing. I grew up in the South. For me, like, that's what made me happy, just being free. And I think everybody wants to be loved, either by the people around you, and sometimes we look to social media for sometimes strangers to give us love. But is that really what we're looking for? Or is it just like a quick fix because we need that feeling? And I know I'm getting kind of deep on this video, but it's bothering me. It's really bothering me because I just feel like people are not talking about this, and it's an issue. It is an issue. We're not strong anymore. We're becoming weak as people because of the way that we our relationship with the need with love. And it's not right, guys. It's not right. And it makes me sad because I'm a mom. And I think about my daughter, she's part of Gen Alpha. They are watching so much YouTube. They're watching so much. All they care about is video. That's all they watch is video content. Like, the amount of pressure, the amount of instability, emotional instability that is going to happen for the next generations is not right. And I care so much about the world, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see us take a minute to love ourselves, to think about really how we define success. Like, when are we going to do things for ourselves? Completely for yourself. Like, in a good way. That makes you, like, feel like your cup is full. I don't even know all the answers to all of this stuff. I don't even know how to do this for myself completely yet. I don't know how to love myself completely yet. But I'm figuring it out. I'm taking the time to figure it out. And I want everyone to do that because it's important, guys. I don't even know if I'm going to post this video, but I'm just recording this because I feel like I want to get this off my chest. And I feel really like, I just feel like I want people to understand it's okay to feel like this. Because it feels like shit being vulnerable. When I was little, like, I feel like I was never good enough. My friend, like, the people around me, my friends, I want to say my friends, but they were my friends. The kids in my school made me feel like I wasn't good enough. My fucking teachers made me feel like I wasn't good enough. When I started my job in finance, in recruitment, I actually studied finance, ended up doing financial recruitment. But my employer, my boss, told me I didn't belong there. And it was like that struggle to prove that I belong somewhere. I didn't need to do that. I did not need to prove that I belonged anywhere, because maybe I didn't belong anywhere. And that wasn't a bad thing. Maybe that wasn't a bad thing. But I just wanted to feel loved. And that's all we all want. We all want to feel loved. But we got to start with ourselves. We got to start loving ourselves first. And it's so crazy because, like, of all the things that we've done as a company, myself, all the things that I've done, all the sacrifice I've taken to prove that this company can move forward, and finally move it forward, and I realized I didn't love myself at all. That's not right, guys. That's not happiness. That's not what life is about. So you got to take a moment. You got to take a moment to, like, stop and appreciate yourself and appreciate who you are as a person. And there are so many things to love about ourselves. There are so many things to love about you. And sometimes it's like, where do you begin? What can I love about myself? But you have to love yourself. Make it a point. Stop what you're doing today. Put your phone down. Take a moment. Do something that you really enjoy. I love taking bubble baths. It makes me feel really fucking awesome. It makes me feel really beautiful. It makes me feel special. Because at that moment, I'm not doing anything for anyone else. I'm just doing it only for myself, and it feels really good. When I'm shopping, when I'm buying things, I don't do that for myself. I do it for my job because I need to have, like, the latest and the greatest, right? I need to be, like, trendy. I need to do all those things. That's not for myself. No. Something where you feel like you're really treating yourself. You're spoiling yourself. You're doing something nice for yourself. Your health. Take care of your health. You're never going to feel bad about doing something good for yourself. But I wanted to do this video because I just feel like nobody's talking about self-love enough. We're not. We're not talking about self-love. And, like, right now we need it so much. And I just want people to know that, like, no matter where you are in life, it doesn't go away. That battle does not go away. In fact, if you don't pay attention to it, the void is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until, like, one day you look around and you're like, why did I do any of this? And success is not self-love. And even the way you define success, like, people might look at me and be like, oh, you're successful. But I don't feel that way because I know I don't feel confident. I don't feel like the love for myself. And that feels really shitty. And that's not right. So you need to take a moment. You need to take a moment to give to yourself. You need to take a moment to be who you are, to be really, really happy. I love you guys.